So hello, today our next speaker is Yaroslav Azhnyuk, co-founder and CEO of one of the hottest startups from Ukraine, of Petcube. Yaroslav, welcome to Lviv.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for going here. So at first I want to ask you about your way. How did you get to the point you are right now?
Well, we started a company 5 years ago with two of my co-founders, Alex and Andre, we basically started with this realization that the market for pet care is a pretty old market that haven't seen much innovation in tens of years. And then Alex, my co-founder, came up with this idea of a camera that will allow him to communicate with his dog when he's not at home. And there was this laser that will allow to play with his dog and to talk to him and so on. So we started with this one kind of product that we realized many people would want. And then what we discovered is that this is a way to connect pets to the internet. And what we realized, if we connect all pets to the internet and many pets to the internet, there are these very interesting network effects and big data effects that are happening. So that was kind of one of the founding hypotheses of how we founded the company.
And which challenges did you encounter when you were founding the company in Ukraine?
Well, I think, many of these imaginary challenges are highly exaggerated. I think people who found companies in cities outside of some of the world's innovation centers like Silicon Valley or Beijing, they think they're kind of in a less favorable situation, but they're actually not. And today, the world is just so connected that you can found a global company almost anywhere if you have your global mindset, if you have global ambitions. And actually, people are the most scarce resource, not money. You can find money if your idea is strong enough. But smart people, everyone competes for them. All the biggest tech giants compete for them. And it's actually easier to find great people, especially technical talent, on those underserved markets, like in Ukraine, or be it somewhere, in Western Europe or in Asia or in Africa. It's easier to find great engineers, and you're actually in a privileged position, because if you can get your customers' money on the West, and if you can get investments from the West, but then you need to pay and you spend this money in the countries where it costs less, but you create this value, you're in better position than companies that are trying to compete with you that pay those salaries in Western markets.
Mm-hmm. And how to hire the best talent from the market?
I think this is a very important question, and what I've been observing, what I was talking about today on IT Arena, is that it's extremely important to work on something meaningful. If you are creating real value for the world, and if you can communicate that in a compelling way, then all the best people will want to work for you. Look at Google. Google said, let's organize all the world's information. And all the geeks are like, oh my gosh, this is like the coolest thing to work on. Or SpaceX said, let's go to Mars. And all the space geeks who were like thinking and dreaming about it for the last 50 years, finally their dream can come true. And people not only join the company, people just try helping this company succeed from every way possible. Those are investors and advertisers and media, journalists, just word of mouth. So when you're thinking about starting a company, think about starting something meaningful, and that will be your key to recruiting the smartest people and the right people who will bring it to success.
So you're starting with why, as Simon Sinek suggests.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And concerning the Petcube, to me, it's a company of a mono product. It's kind of GoPro, but for Petcube. And right now you're building second generation of a product, yes? How did you understand that you should build this particular product? Why this product in your product roadmap, and why right now?
Yeah, I think it's actually funny how when you're inside a company, and then when you hear opinions from outside the company, it's funny when you realize how much of what actually is going on is hidden under the surface. And this fact made me think differently about things like politics or about how other companies actually operate as opposed to what we see through the press or through media. So Petcube is perceived as a company of one products and a company that makes these hardware products, but actually I would say 80% of our engineering goes into software. And what we're building and what we're doing on kind of larger scale, we're connecting pets to the internet. That's what we do. And we're making kind of an operating system that would allow people and pets to communicate online, and then pets have some online presence and so on. So some of the things that are going on within the company are very interesting. But yes, recently we have launched our kind of second product line that was called is called Petcube Bites, and it's a pet camera with a treat dispenser that allows you to store up to 1 kilogram of treats and fling them to your dog or cat when you're away. And of course use that for training or exercising or whatever you want. And this product was launched in July, actually doing very, very well. I think it will outsell our original Petcube Play, the pet camera with a laser pointer. How did we realize, how do we understand we want to launch the treat dispensing camera? Well, that was something we were actually thinking about from the very beginning. And we're just like thinking about the ways to interact with your pet when you're not at home. And laser is kind of the easiest one because it's kind of like ephemeral. It's like not physical. It's hard to break the laser, because it's it's laser. With treat dispensing, it's a little bit trickier, but so it kind of takes more time to develop. So it was like second in our roadmap. But essentially, both products are just like ways for people to communicate with their pets remotely.
And concerning the Petcube Bites, so who are the users? Who are the customers? Are those the customers who bought Petcube before, or those are more new customers?
We definitely have certain percentage of returning customers, but definitely more new customers. Mm-hmm. And what we realize is that laser seems a little bit more compelling to cat owners, while treat dispensing is more interesting for dog owners.
Whoa, so how do you manage to combine this? Because as I know, in Petcube Bites, you also have lasers, or no?
No.
Oh, no, so it's only for this.
Right.
Yeah, great. So you're expanding your market.
Exactly.
And which challenges do you have right now at Petcube?
Wow. Well, you always have kind of challenges of growth. So last year we grew 5x year over year. This year it will be probably similar multiplier. We're just expanding to new markets, expanding new retail networks, expanding to new customer bases, and I think many challenges are just along those lines, managing organization as it grows, and kind of everything, engineering, sales, marketing, just scaling that up. That's a challenge on itself. Other than that. Yeah, I think kind of the biggest questions that keep me up at night are around products, and are we building the right product? Are we actually focused on right things? Are we not kind of spreading too thin on many different things? Yeah, those are always challenging questions. Focus is hard.
Mm-hmm. And concerning the company as well, because we are talking more about the product right now, but concerning the company, what is the role of partnership in your company in particular and in all companies and startups? I mean, how to find the right partner and how to get more from this partnership?
I think it's like the question. It's like the crucial thing in every enterprise is that the core team really works well together. I think I'm incredibly lucky with my partners. All three of us are very different. I think we kind of complement each other. We're like this three-legged stool. Andre has his background in design, and Alex, obviously, he's technical, and I'm also have technical education, but I'm our business guy basically. So I'm not going into what's going on with engineering, and this is completely on Alex. And it's it happened so many times when two of us couldn't reach some consensus, but then the third person would help us. And I think it's just very important to have lots of mutual trust and respect And it's you got to work on this. It just doesn't happen magically, or none of us is ideal. I think whenever you are upset about your founder, you should look at yourself and think about the situations when you were wrong, and then you realize that none of us is kind of the saint. And I have this one story that I think is very telling, and it happened maybe half a year after we just started the company. And basically, Alex and I, we were kind of in the despair. We were losing faith that we can make it happen. And it was like about after New Year's, and we met in this cafe, and like Alex and then I kind of started talking about maybe wrapping this up, and like we won't be able to make it. And Andre is like, "Are you guys mad? Look at what I've done for you." And he literally shows this business card holder, and he says, "I made this card holder for all of us." And here's how our
Wow.
card holder looks like. It's a hexagon, because hexagon is a company logo, and we have these beautiful business cards. And so when Alex and I saw this, this is our logo, it's our business card.
Very
When
cool.
Alex and I saw this, it was like completely different mood to the room, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool! No, we're gonna make it. It's gonna be a huge success." And we made it.
So Andrew saved Petcube, yeah?
Obviously, and that's not the only situation when that happened. And like each of us, there were moments where each of us would kind of save the company, or kind of save the day, or save whatever, save the mood. So it's very important, especially if it's your first time business. It's very important to have partners you can rely on. Yeah.
Yeah, and where to look for those partners?
Yeah, I think it's tricky. It's like, where do you find your life partner, like a husband
Everywhere.
or a wife? Some people, meet those partners at schools, or communities they're with. Some people meet them in conferences or different like work circumstances. I'm sure there are like dating sites for founders. So I've heard different stories about how that happened.
Our dating sites are good for founders?
I mean, founder dating sites.
Yeah, I mean founder dating sites.
I've heard stories
They
where
working?
when that worked out. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow, okay, thanks.
yeah.
And I want to talk more about you and your perception of the work you're doing right now. And as a CEO, I understand that you need to perform lots of different tasks, and you're sometimes very overwhelmed. How do you manage not to get burned down?
Yeah, I think this is important. I think for me personally, the big influence was my dancing hobby. So I have a dancing hobby. I dance Lindy Hop, or swing dancing, and I started dancing maybe 7 years ago. So a couple of years before I started Petcube. When you're a dancer, and when you can reach a certain level in that, one of the things you learn is that the faster is the music, the more relaxed you should be. And I think that transfers very well to business life. So the faster, the higher is the tempo, the more kind of relaxed you should be. Not in a way like relaxed as a noodle, but relaxed as not stressing it and having things under control, and just being very methodical and being in the rhythm of delegating things. And if you're an executive in a fast-growing company, not only CEO, any kind of executive, you need to basically upgrade yourself every 6 to 12 months. You basically you kind of step the next level, and you add another like level of management and all of that. So I've been trying to do that. Obviously, some of the external advice helps. So we went through Y Combinator, which is a great accelerator program that helped a lot. Just speaking to other executives in Silicon Valley and learning from them, that helps a lot. Trying to read some good books. I think like lots of learning happens by role models. So I definitely there are some other CEOs of tech companies I'll look for, and like are aspirational role models. So that kind of helps. I think there are people in this world that are doing much harder and more demanding tasks and jobs than I do. So I don't feel bad at all.
Thank you, Yaroslav. And lots of people will be watching us, and lots of them would love to start their business in the nearest future. So, which piece of advice would you share with them?
I think I meet a lot of founders who come to Silicon Valley and asking for advice. I think that the one like most general thing I would tell everyone, please spend some time thinking about what you're actually going to start. Many people just get this startup bug and like, oh, I'm going to work on this idea, and they're actually starting working on an idea that may be okay, but it's not the best idea they could be working on. So yeah, I think you should spend some real time thinking about is it the best idea you could be working on, and yeah, build things that are really meaningful for the world, because that is what will allow you to attract the best talent, which is the hardest, and then that will allow you to attract the best investors, the best partners, clients, and everything. So just build meaningful things with great ambition.
Thank you for this awesome talk, Yaroslav.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.